Welcome to Art Class with Mr. Lamar. Today, we are going to start our sunflower painting inspired by the book Van Gogh and the Sunflowers. Let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is put down a piece of black paper. And I would like you to write your name on the paper with the pencil from the basket. Mr. Lamar. Then I'm going to turn the paper over and we are going to trace a circle shape to get to the center of our sunflower. Now, we know that there are flower petals that go all the way around the sunflower. So we don't want to put our circle up too high because we won't have room for all of our petals on our sunflower. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it down almost to the middle of the paper, not quite in the middle because we also have our stem too. But I'm going to move it down and leave some space up here for my petals. And I'm going to trace around this circle shape with my pencil as best I can. And I might go around it a couple times to make sure that I can see my pencil line. So here you can see Mr. Lamar's pencil line of the circle that I traced. Okay, once we have our circle shape traced, we can put our pencil and our tracer away because now we're going to work with paint. Artists work with a variety of different brushes, and we have different kinds and different shapes of brushes for different parts of a painting. For example, this brush here, which you see is thick and full and kind of comes to a bit of a point. This is a paintbrush that we're going to use when we paint the flower petals of our sunflower. This is a brush that you would use if you were doing fine little details in a painting because it's a very small tipped brush. This brush is great for doing nice straight lines or painting in square areas because it's a square-shaped brush. For today's project, which is the center of our sunflower, we are going to be using this brush. It's kind of round in shape, and it's a very stiff brush. It's very stiff and very firm, and it's called a stipple brush. A stipple brush. S-T-I-P-P-L-E, stipple. Because the center of sunflowers have lots of texture. So in order to try and get the texture that we see in the center of a real sunflower, we are going to use this stipple brush today. And all we need to do really is just use just the very end of the brush. We are going to be using two different colors. We are going to start with using yellow first. We're going to start with yellow first because it's the lighter of the two colors. So I'm going to stick just the end of my brush into the paint like this. Dip. Just on the end of the brush, I'm actually going to wipe some of the paint off because I really want to make sure that I get the texture of the brush onto my paper. And now I'm just going to dab my paper with the brush. And I want to make sure that I get that texture. Once your brush starts to run out of paint, then come in and get a little bit more on the tip of your brush, wipe it on the side, and continue. So I'm going to fill this whole circle with yellow by doing dab, dab, dab. And try and stay in the shape of the circle because the inside shape of a sunflower is a circle. All right. I finished stipple painting with the yellow. You can see lots of texture on here. It's not smooth at all because we really want to try and get that texture like all of the center of the sunflower, which has all those little seeds in it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wipe my brush on the side here. And then I'm going to work with brown. We don't need to rinse our brush because we're going to blend the brown and the yellow together. Now, I don't want to completely cover the yellow. If we make the yellow go away, then why did we do it in the first place? But I am going to mix the brown and the yellow together. So I don't want to cover it up. I want them to mix. And they should create a lighter brown, and you still should be able to see some of that yellow coming through. You'll notice that I have not gone back and gotten more brown paint on my brush because brown paint is pretty dark. So I can really just use what's already on my brush. And I can still see, brown in there, but I can also still see yellow. And it's got lots of wonderful texture. It is not smooth at all. We don't want it smooth because the center of a sunflower is not smooth. I'm going to give you, boys and girls, some cups of water. I don't want you to wash your brush. I want you to keep your brush dry. But when you are all finished painting the center of your sunflower, take that dirty paintbrush and please just put it in the cup of water where it can soak. And then we will get your sunflower center onto the drying rack.